Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Caitanya Caritamrta ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the morning class at Sri Sri Radha Kalachandji's temple. On Sundays, we have a special treat, and we get to hear from Sri Caitanya Caritamrta. If you're not aware, this is the authorized biography of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the appearance of Lord Krishna in this age of Kali. Just some 500 years ago, he appeared in this world to begin the Sankirtan movement, which he predicted would spread all over the world to every town and village, and people would chant the holy names of the Lord in everywhere. This book is special in that it gives the philosophical understanding of who Lord Chaitanya is, as well as the beautiful pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and his devotees. The section we are continuing with this morning is very sweet. It's especially focused on the relationship of the devotees among themselves. How do Vaishnavas see each other? What do they do together? I hope that, as it did for me, this section will melt your heart. The reason that we don't yet have pure love of God is that our heart is still hard. Therefore, we need to expose our heart to the intense devotional heat of the scriptures, because it's described that our heart is considered to be like steel framed. If by chanting the names of Krishna, we don't automatically break out into ecstasy. So if you don't break out into ecstasy when you're here doing kirtan, then something is off. The normal state of a human, of any soul, is to feel ecstatic love of God at every moment. And how do you melt steel? High heat. So the Caitanya Charitamrita is that potent heating gem. It's like a volcano, we can say, just erupting with the most wonderful and devotionally intense pastimes, qualities, etc. With that prelude, we'll begin our reading. Yes, the Beda Kirtan pastimes. Any Bengali speakers? We'll look it up. Yeah, I'm not sure. So we're beginning with text 59. And so in this verse, just before we read, it refers to the previous verses. He decided to follow the king, Prataparudra. He's the king of Puri. And he decided to follow the instructions of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was one of the greatest scholars in all of India. And he was an impersonalist. But when he met Lord Chaitanya, after he tried to instruct Lord Chaitanya for 7 days straight, and eventually he said, "Do you understand anything I'm saying? I've been speaking for 7 days and you haven't responded." And Lord Chaitanya said, "Yes, I understand Vedanta perfectly, but your explanations are covering them like clouds cover the sun." And then eventually Lord Chaitanya enlightened him about the real self-evident meaning of the Vedanta. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became a very dear devotee of Lord Chaitanya, actually. And so King Prataparudra is also a very great devotee, and he's been wanting to see Lord Chaitanya. But Lord Chaitanya, being a sannyasi, although he's the supreme personality of Godhead, when the Lord appears in this world, he wants to set an example so that there's no excuse that we can say, well, God doesn't follow the scriptures, so why should I? we see that, like Lord Ramachandra is a good example. He set a strict standard for what a king should be, for what a husband should be, a brother. Like that, Lord Caitanya is setting the example of what a sannyasi should do. And a sannyasi is meant to be very careful in relating to women and wealth. And King Prataparudra, being the opulent king of Puri, externally, so Lord Caitanya keeps a distance from him. But Prataparudra longs to see the Lord as a pure devotee. So he's been trying in different ways, and the devotees have been trying, even requesting, pure devotees requesting Lord Caitanya, and he said, don't ask me that again or I will leave. He was very strict. But now, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya devised a plan. He said that on the day of Ratha Yatra, Lord Caitanya will dance in front of Jagannath, and Lord Caitanya is Krishna in the mood of Radharani. And so when he dances before Lord Jagannath, he will feel unparalleled ecstasy, and he will go into trance, and he will, in his exhaustion after dancing, go into this Gundicha garden. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya advises King Prataparudra to approach Lord Caitanya while he's resting there in Gundicha garden, and to dress himself not like a king, to abandon his royal dress and just look like a simple Vaishnava, and there to recite the section of Srimad Bhagavatam describing Lord Krishna's interactions with the gopis, the 5 chapters of 10th canto of Bhagavatam. By so doing, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, the Lord will embrace you and will give you his mercy as you have desired. So this is the scheme of Sarvabhauma to bring the king into the presence of Lord Caitanya. Now, text 59. Would it be okay if we skip the Bengali just so we can read through more verses? Okay. Anyway, you'll just hear my butchered American version. Maharaj Prataparudra took the Bhattacharya's advice and firmly decided to follow his instructions. Thus, he felt transcendental happiness. Yes? We can see that even before we enact a transcendental plan, we already feel happy just thinking about it. That's how amazing a spiritual life is. Even just thinking, one day maybe I will see the Lord. Maybe one day Krishna will embrace me when I return to Goloka Vrindavan. Just that thought makes a devotee transcendentally happy. When the king asked the Bhattacharya when the bathing ceremony, Snan Yatra, of Lord Jagannath would take place, the Bhattacharya replied that there were only 3 days left before the ceremony. After thus encouraging the king, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya returned home. On the day of Lord Jagannath's bathing ceremony, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy at heart. Upon seeing the bathing ceremony of Lord Jagannath, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very happy. But when Lord Jagannath retired after the ceremony, Lord Chaitanya became very unhappy because he could not see him. Actually, we see when Lord Chaitanya first takes sannyas and he goes to Puri, he enters the temple of Lord Jagannath and goes into, he collapses. He goes unconscious because he's in so much ecstatic love of Lord Jagannath. Because, as I mentioned, Lord Caitanya is Krishna, but he's coming in the mood of Radharani. He's experiencing the Mahabhav of Sri Radha that is unparalleled in creation. So, just like we get a little sample of that when the curtains close, or when we have to go travel, perhaps, and like Nrsingarupa Prabhu is just in India for some time. I'm sure you were missing Radha Kalachandji. They were missing you. Our Drishtadumna Prabhu is going to Gainesville for some time for some preaching service. He will be missing Radha Kalachandji, and they will be missing him for sure. So if we get a taste of this, what to speak of the Supreme Lord himself. Purport. After the bathing ceremony of Sri Jagannath, which takes place just a fortnight before the Ratha Yatra ceremony, the body of Lord Jagannath's deity is repainted, and this takes just about a fortnight to complete. This period is called Anavasara. There are many who visit the temple to see Lord Jagannath regularly every day, and for them his retirement after the bathing ceremony is unbearable. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu felt Lord Jagannath's absence from the temple very much. Due to separation from Lord Jagannath, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu felt the same great anxiety the gopis feel in separation from Krishna. In this condition, he gave up all association and went to Alalanad. This is Vipralamba Bhava, the ecstasy of separation. And even for the gopis, or Lord Chaitanya here, this separation from Krishna is unbearably painful, but it's simultaneously the most wonderful feeling of sweetness and love. It's said to be the highest form of love, actually. So Lord Chaitanya's going away to be alone. We have the microphone here. Does someone want to read? Text 64.
The devotees who had followed the Lord came into his presence and requested him to return to Puri. They submitted that the devotees from Bengal were coming to Purushottam Kshetra.
So this is how they attracted the Lord back, as they said, your devotees are coming. So although he's feeling great separation from the Lord, he is eager to see his devotees. Next verse.
In this way, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya brought Lord Chaitanya back to Jagannath Puri. He then went to King Prataparudra and informed him of the Lord's arrival.
Okay, next.
At this time, Gopinath Acharya came there while Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was with King Prataparudra. Being a Brahmana, he offered his benediction to the king and addressed Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya as follows.
So now we'll begin this beautiful scene where Prataparudra and Sarvabhauma and Gopinath Acharya, they're seeing all these devotees come in from Bengal, and one by one they will name them, and we'll hear some beautiful purports by Srila Prabhupada.
About 200 devotees are coming from Bengal. All of them are greatly advanced and specifically devoted to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yeah, in the Bengali here it says Mahabhagavata. Sabha Mahabhagavata. All of them are the highest caliber of devotees. Next.
All of them have already arrived on the bank of Lake Narendra and are waiting there. I desire residential quarters and prasadam arrangements for them.
Go ahead. Whoever can see. Yeah.
Narendra is small lake still existing in Jagannath Puri, where the Chandana Yatra festival takes place up to the present date. All the Bengali devotees who visit the Jagannath temple first take their bath in the lake. There they wash their hands and feet before entering the temple.
Has anyone been there? Anyone been to Puri? Yeah? Very nice. Okay, next.
The king replied, I shall give orders to the attendant in the temple. He will arrange for everyone's residential quarters and prasadam as you desire.
So this is the role of a leader. He's the king, and he wants to make sure that everyone has their basic necessities taken care of. He immediately is ready to give food and accommodations to hundreds of devotees, no problem. Next verse.
Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, please show me one after another all of
all of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu devotees who are coming from Bengal.
Yes, he's eager to see and to know about all these visiting devotees.
Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya requested the king go up on the roof of the palace. Gopinath Acharya knows everyone of the devotees. He will identify them for you.
Next.
Actually, I do not know any of them, although I have a desire to know them. Since Gopinath Acharya knows them all, he will give you their names.
So we see that Prataparudra is eager to learn about the devotees, and also Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he wants to fill in the gaps of his knowledge. He says, actually, I want to know, but I don't know all of them yet. And maybe you've got some experience. You come to some big festival and you see devotees that you don't often see. Even a family reunion, we get an experience of this. I haven't seen you in so long. Nice to see you again. There's one festival, Sadhu Sangha. Has anyone been to Sadhu Sangha festival? There was in Dallas for some time, a year or two. This year will be in New Orleans this May. If you have a chance, definitely go to Sadhu Sangha festival. It's like this. We get a little taste. Seeing Vaishnavas from all over in one place, and it's extraordinary. I don't know anywhere else that I have felt this level. It's like I'm electrified with the association. Not far away from Dallas, right? New Orleans. So please go this year. Next verse.
After Sarvabhauma said, he went up to the top of the place with the king, Gopinath Acharya. At the time, all the Vaishnava devotees from Bengal drew closer to the place.
Next verse.
Swarup Damodar and Govinda, taking the flower garlands and prasadam of Lord Jagannath, proceeded to where all the Vaishnavas were standing.
This is the Vaishnava culture. You greet guests with flower garlands, prasadam, sometimes sandalwood, chandan. Yeah.
Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first sent these two persons in advance. The king inquired, "Who are these two? Please let me know their identities."
Again, his eagerness.
Sri Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, "Here is Swarup Damodar, who is practically the second expansion of the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu."
Yes, Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy, they are two of the most confidential associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And from what I understand, they are the appearance of Lalita and Vishaka, the two most senior or the principal maidservants of Sri Radha in Goloka Vrindavan. So in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, all of the associates of Radha and Krishna come in different forms to serve the Sankirtan mission and to relish the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya.
The second person is Govinda, Lord Chaitanya's personal servant. The Lord has sent garlands and remnants of Lord Jagannath's food with these two persons simply to honor the devotees from Bengal.
Thank you. Yeah, Govinda, he is actually the god brother of Lord Chaitanya. But he was told by his spiritual master, Ishwara Puri, to go serve Lord Chaitanya.
At the beginning, Swarup Damodar came forward and garlanded Advaita Acharya. Govinda next came and offered a second garland to Advaita Acharya.
Let's go ahead and read more, just so we can speed up. Maybe read 3 of them.
When Govinda offered his obeisances by falling down flat before Advaita Acharya had asked Swarup Damodar about his identity, for he did not know Govinda at that time. Swarup Damodar informed him Govinda was the servant of Ishwara Puri. He is very highly qualified. Ishwara Puri ordered Govinda to serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus the Lord keeps him by his side.
Thank you. Yes, Kripamoy Prabhu.
The king inquired, "To whom did Swarup Damodar and Govinda offer the 2 garlands? His bodily effulgence is so great that he must be a very great devotee. Please let me know who he is."
Keep going. Let's read 3 each. Yeah.
Gopinathacharya replied, "His name is Advaitacharya. He is honored even by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he is there for the topmost devotee. Here are Srivas Pandit, Pakeshwara Pandit, Vijanidhi Acharya, and Gadadhar Pandit."
Thank you. Yeah, I'm wanting to get to some of these really nice purports that are coming up.
Here are Acharya Ratna, Purandar Pandita, Gangadas Pandita, and Shankar Pandita. Here are Murari Gupta, Pandita Narayana, and Haridasa Thakura, the deliverer of the whole universe. Here is Hari Bhatt, and there is Narasimhananda. Here are Vasudeva Datta and Shivananda Sena.
We're just getting names here, but as you read on, you'll learn more about the amazing qualities and pastimes of these devotees.
Here also are Govinda Ghosh, Madhav Ghosh, and Vasudev Ghosh. They are 3 brothers, and their Sankirtan congregational chanting pleases the Lord very much.
Purport for this, yeah.
Purport. Govinda Ghosh belonged to the Kayashta dynasty of the Uttaradhiya section, and he was known as Ghosh Thakur. Even to the present day, there is a place named Agradivpa near Katwa where a fair takes place and is named after Ghosh Thakur. As far as Vasudev Ghosh is concerned, he composed many nice songs about Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and these are all authorized Vaishnav songs like the songs of Narottam Das Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Lochan Das Thakur, Govinda Das Thakur, and other great Vaishnavas.
Thank you. Okay, I'll read from here. Here is Raghava Pandit, here is Nandana Acharya, there is Sriman Pandit, and here are Sri Kanta and Narayan. Purport. Narottam Das Thakur, honoring the personal associates of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, has sung as follows: Gaurangera Sangi Gane Nityasiddha Korimane Seyaya Vrajendra Suta Pasha. One who is intelligent understands that all the personal associates and devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are ever liberated. This means that because they are always engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, they do not belong to this material world. One who is engaged in the Lord's devotional service 24 hours daily and never forgets the Lord is called Nitya Siddha. Srila Rupa Goswami confirms this statement. Iha yasya harer dasye karmana manasa gira nikhila shvapyavasthasu jivan mukta sa uchyate. A person acting in the service of Krishna with body, mind, intelligence, and words is a liberated person even within the material world, although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities. A devotee is always thinking of how better to serve Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and how to broadcast his name, fame, and qualities throughout the world. One who is a Nitya Siddha has no business other than broadcasting the glories of the Lord all over the world according to his ability. Such people are already associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, Narottam Das Thakur says, Nitya Siddha Korimane. One should not think that because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally present 500 years ago, only his associates were liberated. Rather, Srila Narottam Das Thakur says that anyone is a Nitya Siddha if he acts on behalf of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by spreading the glories of the holy name of the Lord. We should respect those devotees preaching the glories of the Lord as Nitya Siddha, and should not consider them conditioned. Mam chayovya bhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. From Bhagavad Gita 14:26. One who has transcended the material modes of nature is said to be on the Brahman platform. That is also the platform of Nitya Siddha. The Nitya Siddha not only stays on the Brahman platform but also works on that platform. Simply by accepting the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Nitya Siddha, one can very easily go back home, back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. we're hearing about the glories of the devotees of the Lord and how pure devotees are eager to know about other devotees. We see Prataparudra. Who is that one? Can you tell me more? Oh, he looks so effulgent. Who is he? Can you tell me all their names? Like that, a devotee is eager to know about the good qualities of the Lord's associates. We see in this purport an amazing statement. Srila Prabhupada said, we shouldn't just think that the devotees written down in the books are the pure ones. Right? You read Krishna Lila and you hear about the gopis, you hear about the cowherd boys, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. You read in Caitanya Caritamrta about all these devotees. And even we think we have the pictures of our previous acharyas on the altar. We have Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we have Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we have Jagannath Das Babaji, Gorkishore Das Babaji. And it's easy for us to think, oh, those are the great souls, the pure devotees. The ones today, maybe. It's harder for us to see the devotees walking around us as Srila Prabhupada is describing here. But what does Srila Prabhupada say is that those devotees who are 24/7 engaged in serving the Lord, and especially those who know they have no other business but preaching the Lord's glories all over the world, they are to be considered eternally liberated associates of the Lord. Very strong statement. We may have some doubts hearing this, but we can look at the payoff if we can work through these doubts. Srila Prabhupada says in the last statement, simply by accepting the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Nitya Siddha, one can very easily go back home, back to Godhead. If we can just see the devotees of the Lord as they really are and look past their apparent faults, then very easily we can go back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada speaks about the moon. The moon appears to have spots, some craters, and someone might criticize the moon. But an intelligent person understands that these spots don't affect the moon's effulgence. It illuminates the darkness, it gives cooling rays in the hot summer, and these spots don't obstruct its ability to do this. Like that, the devotees of the Lord may have some apparent bad qualities, but Krishna overlooks these, right? He says, apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananyabhag sadhureva samantavya samyag vyavasito hisa. Even if one is doing sudurachar, very bad activities, then assuming they are properly situated, that it's accidental bad activities, they're not intentionally going and committing degrading, unethical activities, then Krishna sees past this and he says they're actually a saint. They're sadhu. There's different levels of sadhu, of course, and that's why Srila Prabhupada specifies that one who knows they have no business other than broadcasting the glories of the Lord all over the world, this type of individual should be seen as a pure devotee, as an eternally liberated associate of Lord Chaitanya. We therefore need to be very careful about hearing the malicious speech of people who have envy, strong envy in their heart. It's abundant on social media. Hopefully you are not well aware of this, but if you are exposed to the poison of hateful speech on the social media platforms today, then we should take a moment here and recognize what we're missing. That if we can avoid the political speech or the gossip, the sometimes just speculated ideas about what very senior devotees are, about their character, about their activities. Of course, this doesn't mean we're oblivious, and if there are issues, then that needs to be dealt with. But we need to be careful about unnecessarily exposing ourselves to this prajalpa, this useless talk. And on the other side, if we can try to look for their good qualities, they're not hard to find, actually. We don't have to try very hard. I'm thinking of individuals who are traveling the world, and like our friend Jagadish Prabhu is just traveling with Jayadvaita Swami, this very senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada, who has done immense work to translate and, well, especially to edit the writings of Srila Prabhupada, among so many other glories. He sometimes gets criticized for his editorial work, and some people get very lost in such conversations. Therefore, we should really consider carefully how we are seeing these devotees, and reflect on, is it really my place to judge an individual, or have I really looked into all the details of controversies that may have happened? So these were just a few cautionary points that came to mind when I read this purport that I thought to open up with you all. I'd like to go on because I've kind of brought us down into a bit of a grave discussion. And on the other side of this discussion is a luminous painting of the Lord's devotees. So let's go on to that, and then I'd love to hear your reflections and discussions. And I also just want to add one quick tie on that point that I just kind of opened up a can of worms. There's a really nice booklet that came out by the BBT, which explains the edits of the Bhagavad Gita specifically in a lot of detail. And that's a very nice resource to help to get the full picture if someone has concerns about edits that have happened. Text 90. Yes, please.
Gopinath Acharya continued to point out the devotees. Here is Shuklambar. See, there is Sridhar. Here is Vijay, and there is Vallabhar Sen. Here is Purushottam, and here is Sanjay. And there is Sanjay. And here are all the residents of Kulinagram, such as Satyaraj Khan and Ramananda. Indeed, all of them are present here. Please see. Here are Mukunda Das, Narahari, Sri Raghunandana, Chiranjiva, and Sulochana, all residents of Khanda.
Next reader, behind you. Oh, I was just telling them to reach behind them for the microphone. No problem. No, it's okay. Whoever has the mic, please read.
How many names shall I speak to you? All the devotees you see here are assured of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is their life and soul.
The king said, upon seeing all these devotees, I am very much astonished, for I have never seen such an effulgence. Indeed, their effulgence is like the brilliance of millions suns, nor have I ever heard of the Lord's name chanted so melodiously.
Thank you. So I'll read the purport here for this one. And then I'd like to have some discussion with you all. In the Bengali, I just want to note that it says, Koti Surya Sama Saba Ujwala Varana. Millions of suns shining with this bright luster. That is the poetic description of all these 200 devotees arriving in Jagannath Puri. And Kabu nahi shuni e madhura kirtana. The sound of their kirtan is very, very sweet to hear. This is actually, I don't know if we'll get to it yet, but Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, this is Prema Sankirtan, a very extraordinary type of chanting of the Lord's names done in pure love of Krishna. If we are so fortunate to hear such a kirtan, then we will know what it's like. Purport.
Such are the synonyms of pure devotees when they are chanting. All the pure devotees are as bright as sunshine, and their bodily luster is very effulgent. In addition, their performance of Sankranta is unparalleled. There are many professional chanters who can perform congregational chanting with various musical instruments in an artistic and musical way, but their chanting cannot be as attractive as the congregational chanting of pure devotees. If a devotee sticks strictly to the principles governing Vaishnava behavior, his bodily luster will naturally be attractive, and his singing and chanting by the holy names of the Lord will be effective. People will appreciate such kirtana without hesitation. Even dharmas about the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya or Sri Krishna should be played by devotees. Such dharma will immediately interest. Such dramas will immediately interest as audience and be full of potency. The students of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness should note these 2 points and try to apply these principles in their spreading of the Lord's glories.
Thank you very much. What are the 2 principles? Doing dramas and? What's that? Yeah, the other principle is, well, basically, yeah, one who is doing kirtan should be following the principles of devotional service. They should be a devotee, Prabhupada is saying. Not just that any musician should come and chant Hare Krishna with a very sweet voice, but not actually living the life of a devotee. This is, Prabhupada said, is important that we recognize, that we apply in our attempts to spread Krishna consciousness, is that we ourselves should be pure, and we should not have others, even if they're expert materially, do the services of spreading Krishna consciousness if they are lacking such purity. I think we can read one more, and then I'll just open it up. I won't share anything. I just like to hear from you all. But it gets so sweet. You'll have to wait till next Sunday to dive even deeper into the sweetness. I'll just read this verse and purport here and then open up for you all. So if you have any thoughts, please. 96. I've never before seen such ecstatic love, nor heard the vibration of the holy name of the Lord chanted in such a way, nor seen such dancing during Sankirtan. Purport. Because the temple of Lord Jagannath is situated at Jagannath Puri, many devotees from all parts of the world came to perform Sankirtan in glorification of the Lord. All these devotees were certainly seen and heard by Maharaj Prataparudra, but he herein admits that the kirtan performed by the associates of the Lord was unique. He had never before heard such Sankirtan, nor seen such attractive features manifest by the devotees. The members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness should go to India during the birthday ceremony of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Mayapur and perform Sankirtan congregationally. This will attract the attention of all the important personalities in India, just as the beauty, bodily luster, and Sankirtan performance by the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu attracted the attention of Maharaj Prataparudra. The associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were unlimited during the Lord's presence on this planet, but anyone who is pure in life and devoted to the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to be understood as a Nitya Siddha associate of the Lord. So Srila Prabhupada again making sure we know that someone like Jayadvaita Swami, who I brought up, who has dedicated his whole life, the past 50 plus years, doing nothing else but traveling around the whole globe and speaking about Krishna, very strictly following Srila Prabhupada, even in his old age, just like Srila Prabhupada. He's, 75 now and still flying around the world. Such devotees are seen, we should see them as eternally liberated associates of Krishna. Thank you for giving me your attention. I would love to hear what reflections you have on this ecstatic section of Sri Caitanya Caritamrta. Who would like to begin? Yes, Prabhu.
This kirtan is in Jagannath Puri, and everybody loves it because the whole town's all devotees. We have our Harinam party that goes out to Lower Greenville.
Lower Greenville, Dallas, Texas.
And people complain. The devotees have kirtan, and they purify the whole atmosphere, and they make other people devotees that start chanting. But then there's people that say, like somebody came up and said, why don't you take this and, we don't come and impose our religion on you by coming out here and singing our hymns, and we just do it in our church, and you people are just disturbing everybody, a big nuisance coming here. People are sitting down trying to relax and enjoy their dinner, and then they've got this racket going on. So Krishna says that you're not supposed to disturb the minds of ignorant people, and that we should leave a good impression. Not everybody should, if they don't take the Krishna consciousness, they should still feel like we're nice or be nice to us. So how can the devotees perform Sankirtan, going out and doing book distribution, Harinam? That causes a big disturbance to a lot of other people. So how can we do that without? Maybe are they right that we're not supposed to cause a disturbance? We should just stay here in the temple, or?
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Well, that's why we have prasadam. Nobody can say no to a cookie. Well, except now there's a lot of sugar-free people. We just went yesterday to White Rock Lake. Many people turn down the cookies because they're gluten-free or they're sugar-free or whatever. So we thought next time maybe we'll bring some date nut balls or something. But this is a great way to leave a good impression, is to distribute prasadam. This is why we have Kalachandji's restaurant, which His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami, in a visionary way, established. Same with Houston. And we see it working. My friend Patita Pavana Brahmachari down there, he just sets up a table in the Govinda's parking lot, and he's distributing tons of Bhagavatam sets because people over years have become so favorable to Krishna consciousness just because of prasadam. And so let's make sure we always have prasadam. This is how Srila Prabhupada started ISKCON, right? In Mukunda Maharaj's Miracle on 2nd Avenue book, he describes the first Sunday feast. There was no class. There wasn't even kirtan, from what I remember reading. It was just prasadam. Prabhupada sat everyone down, and he personally brought pots around to every individual and served them sumptuous prasadam. That's one perspective I can share, Prabhu, is let's distribute prasadam. Thank you. Yes, other reflections.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. This is like a nectar pot you just broke open, and
Yeah.
such a beautiful section. On that point on people being disturbed, they are reacting. Even if they are reacting in a negative way, they're not just completely ignoring. That would be that nothing. didn't impact them at all. They just don't know how to react. And however, like you said, we should still leave everybody with a good impression. So just knowing that they're reacting is like, okay, the damage is done. And this section, it's so attractive just even reading, to see, okay, you know, how knowing who's this devotee, who's that devotee, is just so enlivening, and to hear just the same things we have had glimpses in our life. Oh, this devotee looks so effulgent, and oh, when this devotee chants, it is so melodious. And I think most of us, like growing up in India, I would listen to a lot of Bollywood songs. And then once you hear kirtan, it's like you can't hear the voice at all. It's like just so unpleasant. You like, it's like when you hear devotees chant, after that you just can't go back to hearing anybody else sing whatever, no matter how melodious they are. So there were such beautiful sections that were called out. And also just the point that in the section, how much emphasis is being given that anybody who's practicing is to be considered Nitya Siddha. Just yesterday we were reading in the section where Mother Yashoda was considered, was said that, okay, these are Nitya Siddha devotees, and the sadhana siddhas should not, you know, you can't kind of get to that stage, but you aspire. But in this section, how Prabhupada is bringing out, no, it's just, you know, if you're practicing, consider everybody who's practicing sincerely as Nitya Siddha. So it was such a beautiful, you know, realization.
Yeah, thank you very much for those reflections. It reminds me too that we may have some struggles. Even someone who is very well situated for some time, we've seen that there can be difficulties. But Narada Muni, speaking to Vyasadeva in the first canto of Bhagavatam, makes it very clear that any little issues that come up due to immaturity won't prevent a devotee from their ultimate success. In fact, the taste of Krishna consciousness is so sweet that they will do they can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again, he says. So we can think of maybe devotees who are struggling, maybe ones who we don't see anymore, who somehow have become estranged, that Narada Muni is saying that they're remembering that taste and they can't get away. And maybe we will be doing our Harinam in Greenville, and one of these devotees who somehow has gotten a little bit astray, they will see the Harinam party and they will remember, they'll come back. So yes, let's get these impressions very, very deep in our heart, so that even when we have difficulties, just like water falls down into the, you know, whatever cracks there are, we can form those deep impressions in our heart, so that our consciousness will always flow into that place that we remember. Yes, other reflections? Yes. Microphone is on the way.
Thank you for such a nice talk, Prabhu.
Thank you.
We have a very nice example in our own temple. His Grace Nityananda Prabhu. Once Mother Manjwali was telling me, we were asking Mother Manjwali to give how they came to Krishna consciousness. And Nityananda Prabhu once got agitated because of all this Sankirtan, and he wasn't liking it before, when he was not into Krishna consciousness. And then he got stirred up and finally became a very nice follower of Srila Prabhupada. And regarding this topic, there is an analogy I came across once, like if you have a bucket of dirt and there is water in it, after for some time the dirt gets settled down and the water on the top looks clean, but there is so much dirt at the bottom. Once you start stirring up, everything becomes dirty, but that stirring up is necessary to clean the bucket. So it's like that. Once we come across people hearing Sankirtan, there might be some agitation going on. Why are these people disturbing me? But eventually that will is a process of purification. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I actually remembered Nityananda Prabhu's story also.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah. Tamal Krishna Maharaj challenged him. You try the process of Krishna consciousness. What did he say give it 1 month, you read these books every day, you chant these rounds every day, and he did it and he became convinced. It's an amazing. If it doesn't work for you, wow. I'll repeat that here so others online can hear. Yeah, Tamal Krishna Maharaj told Nityananda Prabhu that if you try this process for 1 month and it doesn't work, then I will close this temple. This was in Fiji. Yeah. It's an amazing story if you haven't heard. There's a recording online. If someone has access, knows where it is, please do. Or just go ask Nityananda Prabhu to share. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and I feel it's important to emphasize again that yes, when someone has a strong reaction to the Harinam, it is stirring up the bucket, like you said, or it's better than totally ignoring it. We also shouldn't make it worse for them. We should be careful not to give them a bad impression. They may be disturbed, but let's try with prasadam, with kind words. Like Chakri Prabhu and Mother Vishnupriya, they bring flower garlands, they bring maha flowers, and I think they do bring prasadam, right? They bring cookies or something. So they're doing amazing work to spread good impressions. Any final points? Yes, Kripamoy Prabhu.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. I was just wondering if you could, how Pachaparuja was eager to know about the devotees and their different qualities. If you think it's appropriate, could you share with us how you became a devotee of Krishna?
Yeah. I'm actually writing a book about it. It's quite a wild ride that I was on. Just in brief, I can give you like the summary is that I got a book just after I finished college, Bhagavad Gita and Krishna book. And then some months later, I was very interested in psychedelic drugs, and so I went to South America to live with a shaman and drink what's called ayahuasca, this very potent substance. And I ended up living there for a whole year. Fortunately, Krishna was kind to me, and although I had this very tamasic interest, he brought me to this shaman who just a few years before had met a Prabhupada disciple, a Peruvian Prabhupada disciple named Daru Krishna Prabhu. He was an astrologer. He has this center called Vedika in Lima. So somehow or other, this shaman met this Prabhupada disciple. I don't know, maybe a few years before I arrived there. And so he added into his psychoactive mysticism the chanting of Hare Krishna and the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. And so at after these wild, very dark and hallucinatory experiences, we would end with the Maha Mantra. And it was the most profound experience of my life every time. And I became very attracted, little by little, over the course of a year. And I thought, I can either stay here and go insane, or I can leave. And I didn't know where to go, but my brother called me, and he said, there's this festival happening called Sadhu Sangha. That was my first ever ISKCON, my connection with ISKCON. Just in 2018, my brother invited me there because he was with devotees in Denver from his university who were running a club. And so, yeah, I went to Sadhu Sangha in 2018. A devotee there, Shruti Sagar Prabhu, invited me to live at Krishna House. He said, come try 1 month. And now I'm here. So yeah, I'm writing a book about it because I think it's helpful. There's a lot of people who are interested in this shamanism and psychedelic drugs still, and I want to help those people not get so lost like I almost did. Yeah. You remember? Yeah, my brother. He's also very tall. He had long, blonde, dyed hair. Yeah. We came in and we sat on the right side where all the women were. We went to the very front. We had no idea that that was the culture. We just sat in front of all the women. And then, wait a minute. Yes, Prabhu.
I want to thank you very much for the wonderful class and again for being here in Dallas. And as you were talking, I was remembering my wife was listening to a nice class by His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. This was some years back. And he was speaking to the brahmacharis at Chaupati. And he was emphasizing the importance of having brahmacharis in the community, that they can show us, maybe that don't have a life that is as centered around Krishna. Maybe we have to go work and aren't able to dedicate our full time like brahmacharis do. And so I was just thinking, just 8 years ago, you said 2018, right? So just 8 years ago, you took to this process of Krishna consciousness so seriously, and now you're inspiring so many of us. And it reminded me of that, how it's showing us what's possible if we really take actively to Krishna consciousness. And I'm so grateful for you and the other brahmacharis that you're traveling with, that you're coming to Dallas, and you've spent almost 6 weeks here off and on, and just very grateful for your association and what you bring to the community when you come, and praying that you will come back as often as possible and give us more of your association.
Thank you very much, Nisingarupa Prabhu. Yeah, if I, with such a contaminated background, can feel very happy in Krishna consciousness and live like I am now, then why not? Why not anyone? Any of you who have such a pure background, I'm sure. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Caitanya Caritamrta ki jai.